As a member of Jersey Government's financial services team, I am delighted to be here at the launch of industry's vision and pathway for sustainable finance. Government is deeply supportive of this initiative led by Jersey Finance. The vision to be an international leader and to embed the principles of sustainable finance into all aspects of Jersey's markets in its finance industry by 2030 is ambitious. Government, though, believes it plays to Jersey's strength as a finance centre, with its long-held reputation for delivering technical expertise and a quality service, while acting as a responsible global citizen. The ambition also matches government's own ambitions for Jersey as an island, where it has committed resource and funds into Jersey's sustainability. Jersey's been committed since 2014 to becoming carbon neutral, when the State Assembly first declared its energy plan and then target for being carbon neutral by 2050. That target, as industry will know, was accelerated in 2019, when the State Assembly declared a climate emergency, and a climate emergency fund was established to help fund and support new green policies for Jersey, to develop its aim to be net zero. The target date for delivering net zero will be set out in a carbon neutral roadmap, which is to be developed during this year. Government is delivering also on its ambition with its latest government plan. This has as one of its 5 key strategic priorities the protection of Jersey's natural environment and its commitment to investment in conservation, protection, sustainable resource use and demand management. It's worth looking back on what government has done. In 2019, government published its Sustainable Transport Policy, and at the end of last year it gave an active travel update to encourage islanders to do more walking and cycling to further reduce car usage and carbon emissions, alongside benefiting their well-being and fitness. Both deliver a wide range of projects and schemes targeted at delivering Jersey's contribution to its long-term climate action plan. Some schemes have already begun, such as those brightly coloured EV bikes which you'll have seen on our roads and lanes last summer, and the e-cars you can share. Others you may not have noticed, such as more bicycle racks appearing in St Helier, local schools running a walk or cycle to school day, and the Eastern Cycle Path being extended and tarmacked. They all form part of a comprehensive strategy to reduce our island's carbon emissions. You'll also be aware of Jersey's recycling programme, with its latest changes to how our waste is disposed of in our island. This is for both household and commercial waste, together with recycling advice being offered to the public, and a substantially increased number of local recycling facilities being placed across the island. The island has also become a signatory to several multilateral environmental agreements to protect its wildlife habitats. Government has worked with local environmental groups and charities, and Jersey has obtained international protection status for 19 sites of special interest and 4 Ramsar coastal sites with their associated special management plans and reporting requirements. The implementation of these policies and government's 2014 energy plan has already delivered a 47% reduction on our island's emissions relative to its 1990 levels, and with the further aim to further reduce them by up to 80% of those levels. We are doing well, and Jersey already has lower per capita carbon emissions than many other jurisdictions of its equivalent size. Government's latest initiative has been to set up a citizens' assembly, giving islanders a democratic voice in how Jersey's carbon neutral strategy can be reached. The first assembly was held earlier this week, and islanders have been encouraged to share their views on our new online Jersey Climate Conversation. We in government are encouraged by islanders' commitment to being a green island. The challenge now, though, is to address Jersey's indirect carbon emissions, how the money we as an island and our businesses invest in or manage impact on the world's climate and its people. This is overwhelmingly how Jersey can play its most important role in combating climate change. For this, the actions and behaviours adopted by Jersey's finance sector will be key. Jersey's finance sector is our largest business sector. Government believes that our finance sector can play a critical role, both domestically and internationally, in advancing the transition to a net zero island and global economy. We also believe the future success of our finance industry will in part depend on how Jersey aligns itself and develops new standards and industry practices for sustainable finance alongside new products and services. The Economic Council identified this market as a key part of Jersey's finance sector future growth strategy. It is clear the political and global commitment to sustainability and sustainable finance has accelerated in the last year. Now up to $1.7 trillion of assets under management are held in some form of sustainable finance. That's a 50% growth from last year and represents more than 45% of global assets under management. The size of the sustainable finance market is huge. Mandatory disclosure is imminent, with the EU bringing in its ESG disclosure regulations on this 10th of March. We think that adopting the principles of sustainable finance into Jersey's finance industry is both a positive step economically as well as environmentally. Governments around the world are fighting to lead on this. COVID-19 is no doubt partly responsible for this rapid acceleration of the green finance market. It has reminded the world and their governments of the fragility of society and the need to look beyond purely financial considerations and to support each other as a global community. Jersey government shares this belief. Government is ready to be an active stakeholder and collaborator with industry to enable and develop its vision and to support it in the development of its pathway. Jersey government has already begun its own journey as a significant investor and manager of public funds. Sustainability is embedded as a principle in the management of our public finances. The Council of Ministers have adopted a requirement to take into account the sustainable well-being of current and future generations when developing our government plan. Our Treasury team ensures that the public funds we hold and manage are assessed and invested using sustainable principles. The State Assembly also remains committed and continue to fund the international development work Jersey fosters through Jersey Overseas Aid. This has as a strategic programme aimed at funding projects which include financial inclusion, conservation livelihoods and dairy developing in developing countries. Government is keen to build its profile as a nation in this new global dialogue. We are looking to develop strategic relationships with other governments committed to delivering on the principles of sustainable investment and joining international groups and membership bodies. We want Jersey to be at the table, to raise its profile, influence the path, and to share in the thought leadership developing in this new field of finance. We believe it will enhance our reputation internationally. As part of our commitment, we are to participate in the UK's hosting of COP26 in Glasgow this year, and we are working actively with the UK government to extend the Paris Agreement to Jersey. This will include its sustainable finance commitments under Article 6. Sustainable finance is to be as embedded in our external markets and financial services strategy as a government as it is in our domestic policy, and we believe the future it offers Jersey and its finance sector will be bright.